know that video was produced 2 days prior. My political power panel is here. Sanders turned Trump supporter Harlan Hill, Fox News contributor Tamara Holder, and Republican strategist Matt Schlapp. I want to start with you, Harlan, who has gone from Senator Sanders to Donald Trump. Right. What do you make, first and foremost, of this so-called political theater, the official endorsement, which seems to have been basically 48 hours ago?
Yeah, well, I think it's really disingenuous. It's the exact sort of theater and stage, puppet master theatrics that we thought we were getting away from with Senator Sanders, somebody that was really authentic. We thought we were going to get that with Obama, too. I think we were let down.
But it seemed like, Tamara, the tie gave it away, that President Obama, everybody said, wait a second, he was in that tie 2 days ago, and now here it is, and here's the endorsement video of Hillary Clinton. Does it matter to you at all?
No, it doesn't. I don't think that there's any surprise whatsoever. There was a phone call that Obama had with Sanders a few days ago. We knew that Hillary was going to clinch the nomination a couple of days ago. So I think that phone call specifically said, Obama said, I'm going to be endorsing Hillary, and I don't think that there was any surprise here. That he was wearing the same tie that he wore 2 days ago, big deal.
Okay, Harlan, the point, though, that many people are reading into this is that President Obama really wanted to make this show of unity.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of animosity between Hillary Clinton and Senator Sanders during the primary season. And let's face it, it is going to be a very contentious general election.
Well, Deidre, for years, progressive Democrats like myself and others have articulated why Hillary Clinton's an unacceptable option for president. And so for President Obama and other mainstream establishment Democrats to expect that we're just going to fall in line for her because Sanders is now out is so unrealistic and insulting that, I think this is perfectly articulates what the problem is with Washington today.
So, Matt, let me bring you in. What is your take on what we are calling the political theater of these announcements?
Yeah, I just think that this is a little bit of a political theater, and I think that the Democrats are trying to go through this kind of this dance, and I think everyone's trying to give Bernie Sanders his space. But what's interesting is there's not a lot of warm relations here. I've talked to a lot of Democrats today who believe that he ought to just shut up and get out and join Hillary Clinton's cause. And so as a Republican, I'm rather enjoying the fact, but for the first time in several days, we can see the splits that are in the Democratic Party.
Well, it's true that if somebody had talked to you in February or March and said, which convention is going to be spicier, everybody would have said, oh, the Republicans, there's 17 candidates, there's so many differing views. But to your point, it has been a really tough primary season, I'm assuming, both for Hillary Clinton and Senator Sanders. I want to read out a tweet from Donald Trump after President Obama endorsed Hillary Clinton. The tweet is this: Obama just endorsed crooked Hillary. He wants 4 more years of Obama. Nobody else does. Hillary Clinton's account responded, delete your account. Ryan Priebus wrote back, Hillary Clinton, if anyone knows how to use a delete key, it's you. So this just sets the stage for what's coming in November. Tamara, how is the Democratic side going to, with let's say, a flawed candidate, like it or not, in Hillary Clinton, going to face up to Donald Trump?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that's one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders wants to stay in the race. We do have this email scandal, regardless of what side you're on, if you're left or right, it's still percolating. And so Bernie Sanders may have told Obama, look, I've got to stay in this just in case the information is that she is indicted. Then there's nobody.
Yeah, we were joking actually on Tuesday night that maybe the superest delegate of all is the FBI.
Right. And that's a big concern for everybody. So he has a lot of supporters, the wonderful man to my right, and I liked him too. So, but the issue is, how do the Democrats win the general election? And Bernie Sanders specifically said that even though he's going there, he's also going to the convention, he's also going to work to help take down Donald Trump so that he does not become president.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that, Senator Sanders has actually won in the primary season more than 20 states, and it's really not going to take a lot. If there are a few more Harlans out there, that is to say people who supported Sanders but then say, for whatever reason, I can't vote for Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump will be the beneficiary. I just want to play a soundbite from earlier, Press Secretary Josh Earnest.
The president's had the opportunity to speak to Senator Sanders now 3 times in the last week. And as a result of those conversations, I think it's fair to say that Senator Sanders was not at all surprised by today's announcement.
So brass tacks, I mean, Donald Trump only has to win all of the red states that Mitt Romney won in 2012, plus 3 key swing states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Florida, and he has it. Or he can pick up one of the 20-plus states that Senator Sanders has won. So if you were to make a prediction just based on today, you can change your minds later. Tamara, how does it go?
I don't see Donald Trump winning. I think that what we're going to see is a lot of additional attacks by the establishment, by the Republican Party, and we're also going to see a lot of low voter turnout in those states, which is really interesting because,
right, for the country,
yeah,
right.
Whether or not, because a lot of people don't like Hillary Clinton, and they're not going to show up either.
Both candidates seem to have high numbers.
When there's low turnout, Democrats lose.
Okay.
It happens in every race I've ever seen.
Statistically. Speaking of, self-described Democratic Socialist Senator Sanders says he will stay in the race for the convention. We talked about that, even though Hillary Clinton has the delegates needed to be the party's nominee.
We should not be having a situation where Wall Street, corporate America, and billionaires are failing to pay their fair share of taxes. These are some of the issues that many millions of Americans have supported during my campaign. These are the issues that we will take to the Democratic National Convention.
Matt, what do you make of these comments on taxes, the reference to income inequality? We played a clip yesterday. The last time Hillary Clinton spoke about those comments, she was in a $12,000 Armani jacket. Right. Which candidate is going to resonate the best? Somebody asked me the other day, who's going to take more from my paycheck, Clinton or Trump? It's hard to know right now.
Oh, I think that's pretty easy, actually, to know. I think there's actually some pretty bright lines here. But let's be clear about Bernie Sanders. I think Tamara just said this. Bernie Sanders is staying in this race because for the first time in history, one of the 2 nominees from our major parties is running for president while she is running away from the FBI. She's got an active investigation as a target with the FBI. He wants to stay in this race just in case some kind of hell breaks out at their convention in Philadelphia. But he can't make it about that because that will upset Democrats who actually think that Hillary Clinton's being picked on. So he's got to make it about these issues. He's got to make it about income inequality. And let's face it, the Clintons have lost their ability to be kind of like the spokespeople for the downtrodden, for those who are struggling, because they have done such a fabulous job of moving from being dead broke to being at literally the top of the 1% with her $12,500 Armani jacket to boot.
And Donald Trump has actually borrowed a lot of Senator Sanders' language, and many people think that is why, especially in the primary season, there were numerous Democrats switching parties rather, to be able to vote for him. I want to ask you something else since we're on the topic of Sanders. What about this idea that he may want the DNC chairwoman removed? Is that important in this political season?
Yeah, are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think, I think that the DNC chair has done a pretty horrible job, and I think that Bernie Sanders is upset with her. I think the idea that the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of the little guy, and the idea that superdelegates play such a large role. These superdelegates are untethered to how the voters decide. So I think he does have her in his sights. I think the whole party has her in their sights, and I think that I just think it's one of the things that Bernie Sanders is not going to give up on.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We are going to continue the conversation. Matt, Tamara, in just a few moments, Harlan as well. We just want to show you quickly what is going on in the markets. Stocks rebounding from session lows, major averages slightly lower, down the S&P 500 snapping a winning streak of 3 days of gains. Oil prices, worth noting, back down off the highs as well. Correlation between oil and stock prices may not be as strong as it was earlier in the year, but that is a snapshot on all the action. Quick word as well, the launch of the world's largest rocket. We are monitoring this for you. The U.S. National Reconnaissance Office is sending up a new spy satellite. In typical fashion, we don't know many details. It's supposed to take off at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It is now in a holding pattern, but we'll keep you up to date. On The Tonight Show last night, President Obama took some jabs at Donald Trump. Mr. Obama